Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is George Kingori. I'm your online finance guy who speaks about all things finance. I can be able to save, invest and grow in your financial affairs. And today I'm going to speak about mistakes. Yes, mistakes that most entrepreneurs actually make. Big financial mistakes that may actually cost their business. So the first thing is entrepreneurs assume cash flow to mean profit. Just because you have a lot of cash coming into the business does not mean that you are actually making profit. Actually, your profit margins could be so low, and the only advantage you have is that the people who you are selling these products to are paying you in cash or much quicker than the payments that you are making to your suppliers. And this cash flow makes many entrepreneurs feel like they're actually making profit and they are growing richer in their businesses. This is not true. You actually have to do your profit and loss calculations to be able to determine how much profit you're actually making. If you assume the cash that is coming into the business is cash that is equivalent to profit, then you are actually making a big financial mistake, and you might end up being committed to much more financial transactions than you can actually pay for, because this money that you hold could most likely be money that you owe to suppliers, money that you owe to the government, money that you owe to your employees, and many other expenses that you have to pay for later on in your business. That is a big financial mistake that some entrepreneurs actually make. The other thing is entrepreneurs make long-term investments from short-term cash. Yes, this is a big financial mistake that most entrepreneurs actually make. Why should you get money that you are getting into the business to be able to help you run the business, but you're taking that money and investing in assets or investments within the business that are going to generate this money over a period of say 20 years? So you're using short-term cash to pay for long-term investments that are not going to generate the cash now. You're going to run into a cash flow issues because more money is going out than the money that will potentially come into the business. A big financial mistake that most entrepreneurs make just because of the feel that they need to invest much more quicker. In Kenya, the biggest example that I can show you is of supermarkets, and specifically Uchumi. Uchumi had cash flow and a lot of money was coming, but this cash flow was going to long-term investments that were not actually bringing cash into the business in the realizable future. And this cash flow meant that they had less money to be able to run their operations, less money to be able to pay their employees and to be able to pay their suppliers, tax people, and the rentals that they need to do. And they would end up investing in long-term assets, in long-term investments that will not going to bring this cash when you actually need, leading to a cash crunch that may actually affect the confidence that your employees, the confidence that your suppliers have in you, something that is going to affect you financially. Of course, the other big thing that we cannot forget, or the elephant in the room, most entrepreneurs mix pleasure and business. Do not mix the two. Do not assume that your business can be able to support your less than prudent methods of spending your money, your luxuries, your expenses. You are not one with another with your business. You and your business should be separate in all manner, not just physically, not just emotionally, but also financially, meaning that your money is your money and the business money is the business. Pay yourself a salary. Stop mixing business with pleasure. And because the tax authorities are very keen on such businesses, and where you claim personal expenses as business expenses, you're actually going to be penalized by the tax authorities. So ensure that you do not mix your business and with pleasure, because it is going to affect you financially. You may not even have the right focus of how your business is going because you are mixing personal and business. The same goes to where you are putting more cash from your personal pocket into the business to help it run without accounting for this cash. Ensure that all investments that you are making are actually laid down, and all withdrawals in personal expenses are actually calculated, because you need to do these adjustments when you're paying yourself a salary at the end of the man. Do not mix the same, and ensure the two are separate from each other, your personal affairs and your business affairs. Of course, the other thing is many entrepreneurs do not pay themselves a fixed wage. Yes, pay yourself a fixed wage. Whether your business is doing well, whether your business is not doing well, pay yourself a fixed wage, because this is the only way that you can be able to actually measure your expenses without having any changes, and you can actually be able to focus. And were you to do a financial plan, because you have determined these expenses beforehand, then you can be able to do a solid financial plan that could be able to help you actually attract capital. But where you do not have a fixed wage, where you have not made provisions for a fixed salary, and your salary fluctuates based on how much you feel your expenses are, you are actually making a big financial mistakes, and might actually make you mix business with pleasure, what we have mentioned that you should not actually do. Of course, the other thing is diluting your shareholding quickly. Yes, most mistakes that are around shareholding is when you as an entrepreneur invite other parties just because you may be suffering from a fix in your finances. Maybe you do not have the cash flow at that specific time, or maybe you're thinking of expanding, or maybe you want to invest in something and do not have all the cash, but you end up giving away a significant portion of your investment in your company and shareholding in your company for quick cash to be able to meet a recurrent need, and diluting your actual ownership. Because remember, when you dilute your actual ownership, you lose the control of your business. You may not be able to lead it strategically as you assume, you may not be able to make decisions independent of others putting all the input. This makes decision making a lot slower. That makes the other interest of other individuals, but that may not have the vision and the drive of you as the founder have, and may make you actually lose your focus. Don't dilute your ownership quickly. Dilute it strategically, and dilute it in small bits as you measure the total impact on your business and your operations. Of course, the other thing is no market research. Yes, most entrepreneurs do not have the habit of incorporating continuous market research. Be into the habit of having new knowledge every other day. Where are your customers' preference and needs going? Who are your current competitors? What is the operating environment? Are there legislation that is going to affect your business? Do your research continuously and be abreast of the current information, because remember, businesses fail not because they are not making money, but because new products that compete with them may come up, new competitors may come into the business, new legislation may restrict or even stop the operations of a business, and you need to be abreast of all this information. Of course, the other thing is employing people who are not qualified. This is specifically for small businesses. You employ people just because they have been referred to you. You employ people because you know them as your friends or are the friends of your friends, but they do not have an inkling of qualification. Employ qualified people. Every time you employ unqualified people, they become a burden and not a resource to your business. You end up spending too much money training them. You end up spending too much time trying to fix the problems that they bring into the business. Remember, as a businessman, you want your employees to be very equipped, to be very qualified, so that you can be able to concentrate on much more productive events in your business, things to do with strategy and business growth, and not the day-to-day activities. Ensure you get good, competent staff who can be able to do what your business needs, and that is to run the operations independent of you. Because remember, if your business is dependent on you on a day-to-day basis to be able to operate, then your business is crippled by your own personal weaknesses and the time that you can be able to give in. You cannot even be able to go on a holiday because your business is wholly dependent on you. So ensure you have qualified staff and not just friendly referrals. Don't just employ people from your church or employ people that your friends are friends with, or employ the spouses of your friends, or you employ your girlfriend just because she's your girlfriend. Employ people who are qualified to do the job. The other thing is you have bad contracts. You have not learned the art of making good contracts that are going to help your business be sustainable, and especially when it comes to big clients. Yes, you are not able to know the impact of a contract to your business until you are implementing it. And remember, such contracts may be forcing you to be able to stick to this contract for a period of time that you may actually be making losses. So ensure that you invest in good knowledge on how to make contracts and to be able to alter contracts and to be able to make provisions for altering of contracts to be able to favor new events. Remember, even construction contracts have an escalation clause. When certain components and prices of things change, when certain conditions change, when the time that is estimated for the project to be complete increases, there are such escalation clauses. So ensure that you make contracts that are flexible, contracts that allow you to be able to change some things in the future and are able to make you adjust to the certain operating conditions. And especially if they are long-term contracts, especially if they are big contracts, that is with big clients that form a significant portion of your business. Improper contracting and poor contracts affect businesses and entrepreneurs, and this is something that you need to learn and invest in. Maybe you need to have a legal person, maybe you need to train your financial staff to be able to make good contracts, but ensure that you are able to make good contracts. And also this goes hand in hand with clients, with contracts for your employees and things like that. Do not put your business at a risk or being unable to be able to fulfill contracts with employees, with other third parties, with suppliers, with the big clients. Ensure that you are up to date as regards to all these things, because you do not want to be stuck in a business contract that is paining your business and you are using good money to chase bad money. So ensure your contracting is up to date. Of course, the other thing is pricing challenges. Many businesses and many entrepreneurs, especially small-time entrepreneurs, do not know how to value their business. Ensure that you value your business effectively. Do not just value to outprice your competitors. You may use it as a strategy in the beginning to be able to provide a service, and before your name is known, to provide it at a cheap cost, so that when your name becomes better, you can be able to increase your price a little bit higher in the future. Maybe that is your pricing strategy at that point, but you need to know that pricing is one thing. You need to be able to learn how to make it elastic and be able to adjust it to be able to meet the current conditions. If you improve, if you are a self services that you're offering as a person as an entrepreneur, maybe you are a lawyer, maybe you are an electrical engineer, you're offering your personal services in the business. Learn how to value these services. Do not just put arbitrary figures that are more of a trial and error. Be specific. Calculate all your costs. Calculate all the required incomes of profits or margins and be able to price it accordingly. If you have a specific good that is not available to the market, adjust it accordingly, because you have an upper edge. Ensure you price accordingly. And if you have additional knowledge, then ensure that all this additional knowledge and additional skills are priced effectively. The worst type of mistake that people do is to underprice themselves. They underprice themselves and their costs are high and they cannot be able to make a significant profit. You would rather work less, earning a bigger portion of money, than work a lot more day in, day out for a small, meager margin at a much bigger cost to your business. So ensure that you are able to price just right. Of course, the other problem is most businesses do not have a financial strategy. You should have a financial strategy. Every year, every 5 years, every 10 years. What is your financial strategy? Your financial staff will not just be doing historical calculations. They should also help you to be able to square out a financial strategy that is going to help your business grow. Because remember, without finances, you may be poor on cash flow, you may be poor on calculating your profits, you may be unable to value your business. How much worth is your business? You might not even be able to sell your business and shareholding in your business at the right price, because remember, you need to have a financial strategy on how you need to go about with all these things. Of course, the other mistake that I have mentioned earlier is when you use good money to chase bad money. You use a lot of money to chase little money. You need to have several criteria to be able to help you with this. For example, why would you be engaged yourself with a legal process to be able to pursue a debt that is actually small, and you may end up paying more so that you can be able to get a little bit of money that you are chasing for? You need to ensure that you make the evaluations and evaluations to be able to ensure, is this good money that I am chasing? You should always ask yourself, is this worth it? In every process that you undertake, ensure that you're not using a lot of resources and a lot of money and a lot of time to be able to chase small things. Even businesses make allowances for bad debts and such things that they cannot put under their control. So ensure that you have such criteria to ensure that you do not chase bad money with good money that you already have. I hope that you are learning, you are growing, and you're becoming better in your financial affairs. Remember to comment down below if this video has been helpful to you, to subscribe to the channel and to leave a comment and to like this video. I hope that you enjoy your day.